I never thought I'd be the one to stand before a crowd and speak. Strike that. I revel in a crowd. In all honesty, I like to hear myself speak. But I never thought I'd be the one to stand and speak in verse. Not carefully curated prose, but rather a story in lyrics my own hand did compose. And as I stand and as I speak, forcing rhymes, knees so weak, I have this nagging sense you'll all soon be booing, for I fear I have absolutely no clue what I'm doing. I hadn't a clue what I was doing when I sat before a shrink who wanted to know the how and the why and the who and the what behind every thought my mind did think and every action those thoughts did spark, or inaction their tangled webs inhibited. Therapy, T-H-E-R-A-P-Y, noun, per Merriam-Webster, the therapeutic medical treatment of impairment, injury, or disorder. Urban Dictionary, another system you can learn to work. My folk do therapy just about as much as they do poetry, and come from poetry folk, though there's a lot that rhymes with y'all, and in my twang and in my drawl, seasoned sweet and drippin' honey, my words can still pack a punch. Just ask the girl who skipped her lunch or carried as her only crutch the thought that she could live alone on air and hate. There's poetry in bluegrass, and there's poetry in sunsets, and now there's poetry in my mouth, and I kind of love it, and I kind of hate it, but I'm learning nonetheless. To have no clue what you're doing and persist even still is a testament to the people who hired your strong will. And let me tell you a little something about strong will. Let me tell you a little something about a girl with a will so strong who could go so long in pursuit of being nothing, even still. To be nothing was her everything. To be small was oh so big. And she hadn't a clue what she was doing until she hadn't a clue how to stop. And by then it was too late. Like the metal slab, the empty plate, all she heard was the clock as it ticked, numbers dropped. Words were said, chasms formed, densest thicket, rising storm, T-H-E-R-A-P-Y. And now she's in therapy, and they're all asking why. There was a voice in this girl's head that rambled on and on for hours, and in compliance it honed its powers, constant water for her to tread. Let me tell you about a girl who had not a single clue, not an inkling nor a cue, as she stood upon the precipice of fate, surrounded by those who chronicled what she ate, checked in for a stay at a hotel that looked just a little different from the Carnegie down the street, because this girl had forgotten how to eat. This girl had not the words to put to air or put to paper, the affliction that plagued her every hour. And as I gaze into this crowd, I wonder, how many at these tables, how many beyond these walls, like Niagara's cascading falls, have felt the looming cloud of battles waged both silent and aloud, of wars fought not with bullets and knives, but with knives and forks, at the fork of a road leading to ruin or to life, to recovery or to strife, entirely dependent on whether one picks up fork and knife. How many at these tables on this campus, in this city, how many in this region, in this nation, in this world, have fought or observed in solemn solidarity the terrifying descent away from all familiarity, as the disorder wreaks havoc, making quick work of you or the one who you love. 'Twas the life of that girl aforementioned, but it isn't her story alone, for in the throes of a torrent of voices, it was not for her to face on her own. Resiliency is not formed in a vacuum. It cannot take root in a soil unnurtured. That girl was the product of those who poured and planted, pruned and provided ample space for growth abundant, love in the cavern where hate once resided. And as I stand before a crowd, just as she once sat before a therapist, without direction to steer her, only internal voices to jeer her, she was never without people to hear her. They heard the diagnosis before she knew what it meant, only that it reflected an inability to eat, voices so much nearer when she looked in the mirror, their banishment an insurmountable feat. Anorexia nervosa. Translated from Greek, it's the absence of appetite. A pitiful shortcoming in every language, as if those afflicted do not hunger, as if it is a glamorous suppression of a necessary human function and not a chaotic spiral. Muscle weakening, heart degenerating, obsession revolving, hair falling, ever waking, nightmare making stuff of Poe or King or Shelley. Horror writers need not search for monsters long when their influence in the lunchroom reigns so intense, so strong. With tentacles reaching, gnarly teeth seething, the monster overtook the girl, its voice drowning out the network surrounding her as its lies like a rampage did swirl. But recall, my friends, this girl was never alone. Now that I've told you a little something about the willow that wept, allow me to tell you a little something about the soil that kept her growing in the winter. I don't come from poetry folk, and it took a lot of adapting to grow into therapy people. But there was never a doubt from school to office to steeple that my community would hear my cry. The hospital kept that girl for 5 months more, and 10-year-old me in that time received love extended in the most glorious outpour. I took to hiding the influx of get well cards, fearful that in their towering generosity it might elicit the animosity of the peers I dwelt among, all wrecked and fragile and young. They too comprised a portion of that soil of which I spoke, though more akin to detritus, decomposing living matter, forever wondering if they matter, mustering daily the will to live. No one knows you like those who have never seen you at anything but your worst, and yet somehow find love for you even still. No one's investment in you is quite as profound as that of those who have so pitifully little to give. Like the widow's coin from the temple treasury, what comes from a little becomes quite a lot. 'Twas our lot. Breathe in, breathe out, push down the doubt, pursue the route that leads to freedom away from fear. Could it be near? Could it be here? Contradiction, inquisition, constant friction. Fight the good fight, run the race, win the war, eat the meal, nerves of steel. For we are stronger than we think, and there is beauty, there is power in the conscious decision every hour to strive, to thrive, a being used to being more than just alive. Self-loathing rising up with every bite, but we are stronger than we think. So whatever war you fight, whatever battle you wage, let it be for you, but also for those who have poured into you. For I repeat, resiliency is not formed in a vacuum. Let me tell you a little something about a girl. Let me tell you a little something about me. She who once was lost but now lives free, and thanks to the soil that nurtured her tree, she rises, she falls, ebb and flow of the sea. Let not our hearts be troubled. Let not our resolve ever waver. Growing together, we are stronger. Growing together, we are braver. In the midst of the battles, voices claim are our undoing. Let us remember there is strength in persisting, even when we haven't a clue what we are doing. Thank you.